Good evening, I'm Lauren Reimer.
And I'm Lindsay Spa. Here's what's coming up next on Panthervision.
Is looking to snuff out this unhealthy outdoor habit. We'll have a live report.
Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for your donation.
With the holidays approaching, find out who is standing out in the cold and ringing bells for charity.
'Tis the season for a party. Find out what has these colorful characters dancing.
And what has these people shaking their bombs? All this and more coming up on Panthervision.
From the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, this is UW-M Panthervision. A weekly newscast reported, written, and produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. And now, the news.
UW-M smokers may soon have to go across the street to get their nicotine fix.
But will smokers still light up on campus? Panthervision's Eric Litzheim joins us live at UW-M Sandberg Hall to explain.
Thanks, Lindsay. State law has forced smokers outdoors this winter, but here on campus, the indoor ban isn't the only regulation the UW-M community is expected to follow. And as I found out, students don't want to stray far from warmth to light up.
These images were not taken from outside Milwaukee bars and restaurants, but from outside UW-M's own Sandberg Hall, where winter weather has smokers staying close to building entrances. You may not be aware, but UW-M has some smoking laws of its own.
The current UW-M smoking law states that there is to be no smoking within 30 feet of campus building entrances. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Or you may be like Sandberg resident Mike Jablonski, who is aware of the law, but breaks it freely.
I don't really pay attention to it. I go stand over there because it's too windy around here. Too cold.
UW-M police have never issued a citation to Sandberg's violators, despite operating right next door. In fact, no one has ever received a citation for the offense. Dr. Barbara Moser of Norris Health Center heads up the Healthy Campus Work Group, a group that works on campus tobacco policy. Dr. Moser explains the lack of regulation from law enforcement.
It's not something that, we want to spend a lot of time giving people tickets for, or that kind of thing. It's more that we want the university community to kind of regulate itself and to really put pressure on each other to really follow the rule, because it's for everybody's good health, and that's really what it boils down to.
UW-M will rely upon this peer pressure to enforce laws, much like UW-Stout, who earlier this fall became the first four-year university in the UW system to go completely smoke-free. Will UW-M become the second? On December 15th, UW-M's Physical Environmental Committee will discuss this possibility, but the law will ultimately need the approval of a chancellor before being passed.
Our interim chancellor has given several indications that he is going to act on things, that he is going to move policies forward.
So even though students and staff may come back from break to a new smoke-free law, it is likely that they won't come back to a smoke-free campus.
The UW-M police are declining to comment on the proposed smoking law until after the Physical Environmental Committee meeting. So we'll know more after the 15th. Back to you, ladies.
So, Eric, what can the UW-M community do to help enforce these laws?
Well, Lindsay, like I said, UW-Stout uses peer pressure to enforce their smoke-free law. One way of doing this is by handing out literature to violators, kind of as a friendly reminder. However, repeat offenders can be reported, and they could face consequences and administrative action.
Thanks, Eric. Graffiti on campus is increasing, and police say they want to get to the bottom of it. They are offering a $500 reward for any information that leads to an arrest. Sergeant Art Cook says the department doesn't usually offer awards, but they are effective. This comes after a spike in graffiti over the past 3 months. In September, there were 3 incidents. In October, there were 19. And in November, there were 26. Police are urging anyone with information to contact them.
There's another law that will be keeping UWM police busy. As we reported last week, a statewide texting ban has taken effect. But what do students think about it? Panthervision's Justin Paul reports.
Moving down the road, you are bombarded with warning signs. But there is a law in Wisconsin that doesn't have a sign. UWM student Katie Thompson thinks the new law is a good one.
It is, because there are a lot of new drivers who've never really experienced driving before. Like when they text, that's a situation that takes their focus off of the road, and they already don't have that much experience, so that's definitely a danger.
But she struggles with how police are going to enforce no texting while driving.
I just don't understand how they're going to be able to prove that someone was texting.
University police say drivers will have to do more than just text for them to pull people over.
The law specifically states that while the vehicle is in motion, it is illegal to text. But if you're at a stop sign or a red light, then it is okay to text.
How safe do students feel while others may be texting? UWM senior Carly Ruggieri still feels comfortable with friends texting while driving.
Generally, from my experience, I've felt pretty safe, I think. I can't really think of a specific time where I felt in danger while someone was texting with me.
For now, it's a step in the right direction. In Milwaukee, I'm Justin Paul for Panthervision.
Fines range from $20 to $400 and could cost you 4 points off your driver's license.
Some UW-Madison students who are illegally scalping their Rose Bowl tickets are getting death threats. The student newspaper, Badger Herald, printed the names of 38 students selling their tickets, describing them as, quote, the worst people on campus. UW-Madison had 5,800 student tickets available, and a few students have tried to sell their tickets for up to $400. The paper also said, quote, truly there is a special place in hell for people who buy Rose Bowl tickets with the sole intention of profiting from them. Some of the students named in the editorial say they have been harassed by phone and email. The newspaper has now removed the names from its website, and the editorial board is claiming that the article is the result of one editor who did not consult the editorial board in advance. Sports memorabilia is helping raise money to fight against hunger.
Student workers from the Department of Exceptional Education are holding a silent auction to raise money for the Hunger Task Force. Items up for bid include a Packer football signed by the entire team, as well as a jersey signed by the Milwaukee Bucks. Organizers say the auction would not be happening without the effort of UWM students.
For putting on this event and raising money.
The bidding has been extended until tomorrow because turnout was affected by snowy weather.
They're here in any kind of weather and at any time of day, and they're trying to ring in some joy for those in need. Panthervision's Ashley Jordan has the story.
How are you today, ma'am?
He works as a bell ringer for the Salvation Army, collecting donations for the needy. Despite the cold weather, bell ringers try to warm it up with a little holiday cheer.
Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for your donations.
But it's not an easy job. Cotton must bear the cold for 8 hours each day. Though it's going to take more than frigid weather to put Brian in a bad mood.
Some people might feel down or whatever. I try to lift them up, lift their spirits up.
He says he works for the Salvation Army because he feels for the less fortunate.
I understand where things are going now with the economy because even myself, I felt a little pinch.
Jillian Werner is a junior at UWM, and she also feels for the less fortunate, which is why she says donating is important to her.
I donated because I do it every year, and every time I see one anyway, because it helps out.
Jim Fedovic is a sophomore here, and he has a playful outlook on donating.
Because sharing is caring.
Both Jillian and Jim like to think that they can make a difference during the holiday season.
Hope every dollar counts.
Thank you.
No matter what their motivation is
Thank
for
you, sir.
donating, bell ringers like Cotton are grateful that these college students are so generous. And that's something that can make anyone's holiday a bit more cheerful.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day. Happy holidays.
In Milwaukee, I'm Ashley Jordan for Panthervision.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Find out whose chimney he's shimmying down.
And who has the tunes to lift your spirits. All that and more coming up next on Panthervision.
Boy, it's amazing how many stars there are. You know what's really amazing, Clell, is that recent discoveries within the Orion Nebula lend credence to the theory of a whole other solar system, predating our own, of course, the origins of which remain in microscopic gaseous form, thus increasing the chances of our not being alone. Let's see.
Thanks for watching UWM Panthervision, judged Best Student Newscast by the Northwest Broadcast News Association. Panthervision is produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication in association with Milwaukee Area Technical College.
America is considered to be a melting pot, but according to some studies, some ingredients are fading.
That's not the case for Spanish. As Shakara Robinson reports, one local family is still stirring the pot.
Vasquez's son, Elud, is growing up in a changing country. Salvador Vasquez is from Mexico.
For us, it's very important to speak our language, and that's how we communicate.
With hopes of bilingual speaking for his son.
Because that's going to be a great help for him in the future.
Elud is learning his words in English and Spanish. Guidance is everything, says Elena Mijas.
So the children themselves, they're not making this choice, the parents are making the choice for them.
Here in the Vasquez home, Sal makes sure to keep Hispanic culture alive, but he has other places to do this as well. Strumming the guitar at Spanish Mass. And the community rejoices at 2900 West Scott Street.
We have big parties with a bunch of people, so when we get together in church, that's what we do.
He loves his heritage, but Salvador considers himself an American.
Amen, hallelujah.
In Milwaukee, I'm Shakara Robinson for Panthervision.
Salvador and his family attend Mass every Wednesday where he sings in Spanish. He encourages speaking Spanish in his house.
The UW Board of Regents is proposing a 2% pay increase for teachers at UW campuses, but the request is already getting a cold shoulder from at least one lawmaker. Republican Representative Stephen Nash says the budget deficit means the state cannot afford to give raises. The Regent president says, though, the raise is necessary because salaries of UW professors are almost 10% lower than peer institutions. The state legislature did not approve raises last year for faculty and ordered UW system employees to take unpaid furlough days.
Final exams start this week, which means the holidays are just around the corner. But for some, the celebration has already begun. Panthervision's Taylor Thompson has the story.
7-year-olds Naomi and Elena Berlin not only look alike, but act alike. Whether it's arts and crafts,
oh, that turned out great!
getting their faces painted, even having a bite to eat. Family time is just as important. Just ask the twins' aunt, Cheryl Echolt.
It's just a good time to all be together.
That's what this year's UWM Holiday Festival has to offer, including a variety of cultural experiences. From the Pocket Lady to a dancing duck. And that's not all. Even jolly old St. Nick is here to find out which kids have been naughty and which ones have been nice. Letters are being written to Santa. Some more simple than others. Organizers like Alice Traore simply want to create a friendly environment.
Just a place where people can unwind and celebrate together.
And you can see that from the looks on these little faces. In Milwaukee, I'm Taylor Thompson for Panthervision.
Well, it's really starting to look like the holiday season out there after the snow this past weekend.
Andy Ambrosius joins us live in front of UWM dorms. Andy, how cold and windy is it out there?
Guys, it is absolutely freezing out here. I hope you two are enjoying the wonderful studio weather right now, because outside, to say it's cold would be an understatement by a million. I was walking over here earlier today and the UWM digital signs around campus said it's 13 degrees, but with this wind whipping through, it feels like well below zero. We had our holiday storm over the weekend, and as you can see, UWM took a pretty proactive approach to salting the sidewalks. No slip, no slide. The roads and sidewalks are salted, and they're kind of stained white from the salt, actually. I think the biggest moral of the story here now, though, is how cold it is. If you don't have work, if you don't have school, stay inside. It is freezing out. Back to you guys with weather. I'm Andy Ambrosius for Panthervision.
Lauren Robertstadt joins us now with weather. Lauren, we had a pretty hectic weekend.
We did. We had a lot of blizzard warnings across Wisconsin. In Milwaukee, we had a winter weather warning. But we didn't end up getting much snow, not compared to Jackson County that got up to 22 inches after a 2-day total. So
and also Minneapolis.
And Minneapolis too. Yeah, they had a lot of snow and they lost the Metrodome also, the ceiling. Currently right now we have a high of 14, dew point at 5, pressure 30.07. It's partly cloudy and windy out right now. Today it looks like we're going to have a high of 16, so not much of a warming up in temperature, a low of 1, and 0 precipitation today. No chance of snow, kind of a bit of a break after this weekend and all of our warnings. It looks like over across the state we have negative 18 in Eau Claire for a low, negative 15 in La Crosse, negative 2 in Oshkosh, and negative 7 in Madison. Milwaukee, again, our low today is 1. Also today, we have a high of 11 in Rhinelander, a high of 15 in Green Bay, and a high of 11 in Oshkosh. Again, here are all of the lows for today.
Keep going.
It looks like, and here are our highs as well, high of 16 again in Milwaukee. High of 6 in Madison, high of 11 in Rhinelander. For our extended forecast, it looks like, for our tonight forecast, it looks like partly cloudy, low of 6. Northwest winds at 16 miles per hour, so it is going to be windy again. Other parts of Wisconsin should look to drive a little bit carefully because of all the snow still blowing around, not so much Milwaukee though. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. High of 13, low of 8, wind at northwest 9 to 13 miles per hour. And Wednesday, mostly cloudy and cold. 22 with a high, low of 19, winds at 16 miles per hour, south at 10 miles per hour also. Here's our extended forecast. It looks like it's going to continue to stay pretty much in the same temperature range. Going to get a little bit cold this weekend, but not too much precipitation, maybe a couple of snow showers on Thursday, but nothing too big like we had this weekend. It's going to be pretty content and not really intense this weekend at all.
Well, when Looks like winter's here to stay then.
It
huh?
is, yeah. It's going to continue to stay cold. We're not going to see any warm-ups in temperatures for a while. So.
Okay.
So
Well-
students should definitely get their mittens and hats out.
Yeah, and like 14 different layers because it's going to be really cold, as we saw with Andy. It's best to layer up, especially this time of year.
Yes, it is.
Well, another tough game for men's basketball team. Can they finally beat those Badgers?
And some Latin dance moves could help you shed those holiday pounds. All this and more coming up on Panthervision.
University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Visit uwm.edu for information.
It happens every day. It doesn't stop when you reach a certain age. We're all of us learning, even now. You see something in a person's face and see all they struggle to learn. It could be we are here solely to remind each other what must not be missed or ignored, but celebrated. When do we stop learning? Maybe never.
In Chinese medicine, that the body has to move.
Thanks for watching UWM Panthervision, Judge Best Student Newscast by the Northwest Broadcast News Association. Panthervision is produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication in association with Milwaukee Area Technical College.
Welcome back. Marquette basketball loses a legend.
And the UW basketball teams has had an interesting weekend. Ryan Kernan joins us with sports.
Thanks, ladies. Perhaps there are no bigger names in Marquette basketball than Al McGuire and Hank Raymonds. Over the course of 3 decades, the pair led the men's basketball team to national prominence. Hank Raymonds died last week after a long battle with cancer. Panthervision's Rashida Butler looks back at his career.
Hank Raymonds was a man that was passionate about basketball.
Jerome powered his way to the hoop, and I got a call, an offensive foul on him. Hank came flying off the bench on that one.
Raymonds first came to the Marquette coaching staff in 1961 and was considered the architect behind Al McGuire's 1977 NCAA championship team. Tom Pippins has been covering Marquette sports for over 30 years.
Al was the fellow who motivated. He was the conductor of the orchestra out there. He was in the limelight. But Hank was the man who had all the game notes and the preparation for practice. He knew all the X's and O's. He actually was the coach on the team, according to Al. He set these players up for success, and then McGuire took it from there.
As head coach from 1978 to 1983, each of Hank's teams reached postseason play. As athletic director from 1984 to 1987, Hank worked to close the gender gap in collegiate sports.
So women pay the same amount of tuition as males, so they should be treated the same way. Title IX had no bearing on this. Believe me, Title IX, forget it. That's not the reason. The reason is you have to treat the women the same way as the men.
Which is where his legacy will be felt the most.
He cared so much for the sports that you don't hear as much about, and women's sports. He was, whether it was a track meet, cross country, women's volleyball, women's basketball, which certainly is much, much bigger now.
As well as in the lives of the people he has inspired.
Hank was a giant. He was one of the nicest gentlemen God ever put on the earth. and he also knew basketball like nobody else. I think that Doc Rivers, the current Boston Celtics coach, former NBA standout, former Marquette great, said it best when he said, "I lost a coach for life."
In Milwaukee, I'm Rashida Butler for Panthervision.
Raymond's funeral is today. He was 86 years old. The UWM men's basketball team isn't having much luck against in-state rivals. The Panthers fell to the Badgers in Madison 61-40 Wednesday night. It was Wisconsin's 18th straight win over UWM. Despite a strong offensive streak at the beginning, the bulk of the fourth quarter points were from the free throw line. The team then won against South Dakota State 82-70 on Saturday. Tony Myers scored 19 points for the Panthers and Jarab McCallum had 16. UWM plays at DePaul Tuesday night. The women's basketball team isn't having much luck on the road. The Panthers lost at Michigan State 55-48 Wednesday night. A quick comeback that brought them within 2 points within 3 minutes left to play. The team took on the Badgers in Madison Saturday afternoon and lost 68-53 despite a season high of 11 three-pointers. Ann Brenlin led Milwaukee with a career-high 17 points. The next game for the Panthers is Sunday at Toledo. A Badger football player is named the nation's top offensive lineman. Senior tackle Gabe Karimi is the winner of the Outland Trophy. The award is given annually to the nation's top interior lineman. Joe Thomas won the trophy in 2006 and is UW's only other Outland Trophy winner. That's it for sports. Back to you, Lauren and Lindsay.
With the holiday season right around the corner, burning some calories before Christmas may be on your agenda.
And there may be a class on campus that does just that. But as Panthervision's Brittany Radakovich reports, the class has a bit of a twist.
To drop, Barbara Edrich Ramos knows just the place to warm up. She goes to Zumba class. Zumba is a form of exercise that combines dancing with Latin music. Barbara is a fan of the exercise and comes almost every week.
Zumba is just a lot of fun. It works out all your muscles and it's just a lot of fun music, and you come here after a full day of class and just have fun.
1, 2, 3.
Luis Diaz is the Zumba instructor. He creates the dance moves to go along with the beat of the music.
Most of it, believe it or not, is improvised. It's improvised. So I dance to the rhythm, I dance to the beat.
Zumba is an hour long, and believe me, it's a lot harder than it looks.
Zumba may look like fun, but Barbara will be paying for it later.
Well, you're definitely sore afterwards, that's for sure. You really work it, all your muscles.
Zumba burns more than 1,000 calories in only one class. Who knew dancing could be so healthy? In Milwaukee, I'm Brittany Radakovich for Panthervision.
Zumba is offered in the Klatchy Center and is part of the Group X program. All of these are free for students.
Thank you for spending time with us this evening.
This is our last broadcast of the semester, and we would like to thank the second-year television and video production students at MATC.
They do all the technical work for our newscasts and make us look good every week.
UW and Panthervision will return in the spring.